Waiguru ji ka khalsa, Waiguru ji ki fateh. Welcome to the Sikh channel. Today we've got some special guests all the way from, I'll let you actually guess where they're from with the accent. However, the emphasis here today, it's their Parminder Suraya. It's her grandson along with his friend, and they're visiting England. So we'll ask them a little bit about why they're here, the weather, and I'll introduce the guests now. So, can you tell us your name?
I'm Armaan Nijjar, and this is...
I'm Akash, Dhillon.
Okay.
We're both 16 and we're from Victoria, British Columbia, which is on the west coast of Canada.
The west coast of Canada.
Yes.
Okay, so you're actually Parminder Suraya's grandson.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Lovely. Okay. So what brings you into England?
We're here for a football tournament, yeah.
But you guys call it soccer in Canada?
We call it soccer.
That's really good, because you guys are actually calling it football here.
Yes.
Okay.
We try.
You try.
We
okay, that's good. So when you're saying this tournament is international, can you tell me a little bit more about this tournament?
Well, yeah, we played 2 tournaments, one in Manchester, one in Wales. There were teams from all over the world, Africa, North America, everywhere, you know. It's pretty world-recognized tournaments, the English Super Cup and Welsh Super Cup.
Okay. Did you win any of the cups?
We won one of the cups and finished second in the other one. We won the Welsh one.
Wow. So you guys went all the way into Wales?
Yes,
yeah.
Cardiff.
Cardiff.
Yes.
So what do you think of the British weather compared to the weather in Canada, Victoria?
This summer it's been warm, yes.
Been warm?
Very hot some days. Rainy at times, but most days have been hot.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not too bad here. It's quite warm. I wasn't expecting that, but it's nice.
Okay. So just going back to the soccer and the football, so at what age did you start to get into it?
Really young, around 5-ish, yeah. So my whole life pretty much I've been playing.
Okay.
Yeah, same goes for me. I've been playing since I was young. It's always been a passion of mine, so.
Okay. The reason why I asked you that question was because there's a massive taboo, especially in the Asian community, when it comes to sports and your children, females, males, whatever it is. But I know nowadays there's a massive drive for Asian, Punjabi especially, going into sports. Have you got any specific role models in the family?
My dad and my Babaji both played throughout their lives, so they really got me into it when I was young.
Yeah, my dad and my mamaji, they both play, they still play. They really got me into it and really started off my career in football.
Okay, so when you talk about careers in football, are you hoping to be professional football players, or are you hoping to do something else? Because I know, once again, because if you, like I said, it's always going back to our parents and our roots. They always want you to become lawyers, doctors, accountants. You know, you guys are nodding. So how does that make, I mean, is it something you guys are pushed to do, or are you able to do what you want to do as a career?
Yeah, so for me personally, I'm using it as a pathway to go into physiotherapy.
Wow.
So in university, I want to study kinesiology, so I can use football or soccer to get a scholarship to university and then hopefully study from there on.
Wow, that is really impressive, because you're using a hobby to build your career,
Yes.
and that career again is sort of like medicalised to some extent.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So that's amazing. And yourself?
Myself, I just plan on playing for at a high level, past high school, not professionally, but just locally. Yeah.
So how would you locally, because the question I would get, is there any scholarships, is there any sort of pathway? How would you do that?
Well, there are a lot of universities that do look for high-level football players, and through scholarships, it's quite easy to achieve your goals.
Wow, okay. So you're saying like they're looking, so how did you guys get into the journey of like going into soccer and football? Because it couldn't have been easy, the fact that, you know, you guys are playing for Victoria, it's an international team, you're here in England, you know, you've got competitors from all over the world. So to me, that sounds like it can't be an easy route. So how did you guys manage to do it, and how? Yeah, how?
Lots of hard work, really. Families have always been pushing us to try and be better at it and improve like every day. So we train lots, 6 days a week most weeks. So yeah, it helps.
Yeah, we've been training for this tournament for the past 2 years, some like the past 1 year, but you know, our parents have supported us a lot, same with our coaches, and it just feels good when everyone's supporting you and you can achieve your goals like that.
That is a vital point, because I think especially when it's your parents and, like I said, going into sports, it is true. So how long have you guys been playing for, did you say?
11 years now.
11 years.
Yeah, same with me.
11 years, okay. So if there was somebody who came up to you, you know, we're going to have a lot of youngsters who are watching us, especially you guys as, you know, international football players. You go into tournaments, you've come to England all the way from Canada. What sort of message would you be giving to the youngsters who are actually watching this programme now, who'd want to get into sports?
Just pursue what you love to do, and then hopefully you can get to do it in the future, and then as you get older, keep doing what you love.
I always think hard work always pays off, and like, don't let anything stop you. Hard work will pay off at the end of the day, so just keep working, keep pushing.
Wonderful. And you're saying hard work pays off.
Yeah.
And Armaan has said that you train 6 days a week. So what about studying? How do you manage that? Because
you fit it in, yes.
You do?
Yeah.
How?
Well, most training sessions are an hour and a half, so you still have plenty of time to get in your schoolwork.
Wow. And yourself?
Yeah, the same thing goes for me. Studying always comes first for me, but football is also a big passion. I try to, you know, make it even for both.
And I think that's really important, isn't it? Especially when you've got distractions, especially like I said, especially the youngsters that are watching us out there. You have a lot of distractions like Facebook, soaps. You guys probably have soaps back in Canada that you watch. Sort of like, okay, soaps in Canada, would you like serials? Like movies and dramas?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think for that, it's really important that, like these guys have just said, key is having, I think it's about being dedicated to what you truly want to achieve. And in your instance, you're both 16, you're quite young, but you're dedicated to obviously your football, and you're also dedicated to achieving further goals such as physiotherapist in the future as a career, and yourself as well in having a career. So that is wonderful. It's really good. So have you got any more tournaments lined up?
Not really, no. We go back, start training again, and then we'll see what pops up.
Okay. And
Yeah, same thing goes for me. You know, season's over, and you gotta keep working hard until the next one begins. So.
Okay. So until the next one begins, so how do they recruit you? Is it just because you're in the team Victoria, or do you have to meet some sort of criteria to be picked?
So you have to try out for the team, and then they cut it down to a certain amount of players that they want to take for the team, and then you play with them, basically.
Yeah, that's basically it.
So is it like a practical, they're just observing your skills
Yes.
on the pitch, and then do you have a verbal interview, or is
No,
it
just
your
skills on pitch, basically, yes.
Wow. And obviously when it comes to injuries and stuff like that, are your parents like, you know, if they're watching you, are they sort of like, oh my God, or they're like, no, go on, go for it, you know, like really egging you on? Especially when it comes to you're young,
Yeah.
and you know, it's my child out there on the pitch, I don't want them to hurt themselves. How do you feel your parents react?
Haven't really faced too many injuries in my career as a footballer, but yeah, I feel like if I was to get hurt, depending on the injury and the severity of it, they'd want me to keep playing and push on.
They would want you to.
Yes.
Okay, family, because I know we know your nanny's a presenter on Seek Channel. Have you got family here?
Yeah, I've got a lot of family in London and Leeds. Some of them came and visited me, and I'm going to visit them later this week, so that's exciting.
Wonderful. And have you been to England before?
No, this is actually my first time here. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it so far.
Have you been anywhere for sightseeing?
Sightseeing, we went to Alton Towers.
Okay.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. Did you go on the rides?
Yeah.
Yes.
Amazing. Was it raining or?
Sunny.
It was fun.
It's been sunny most days here, yeah.
So I think you've brought some good weather with you.
Yes.
Okay, and yourself?
Yeah, I have obviously family here with my nanny, and I have family in London too, and Leicester.
Okay.
So yeah, go visit them later in the week too.
Wonderful, amazing. So you've got a lot of sightseeing to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So having family in England's cool. What about India, Punjab, have you guys visited back in India? And
I haven't been there, no.
okay, would you like to go?
I want to go, yes.
Okay.
I've been there a few times. My grandparents actually live there, and so do my aunts and uncles.
Okay.
So I'm really looking keen to going back there in the future, possibly.
That's really good, and hopefully you'll take
I
Armaan
want to
with
go,
you.
yes.
Yeah, drag him out there. Okay, and have you got any family members in Punjab that are into any sort of like sports?
Sports, not so much, but you know, they're all supporting of me, so that's nice to know.
Okay, that's good. Just looking at your physiques, guys, I'm really intrigued because I know with my diet, and I'm not obviously any sportswoman or anything like that, but I'm just looking at you guys, I'm like, you guys must be quite strict with your diets, especially with going on professional. I mean, you are professional, you're international soccer football players, you know, it is, you've been chosen. So the question that I'm dying to ask is about diet. How do you manage diet?
So you really just have to watch out for what you eat, and then, yeah, lots of carbs before games, so pasta, bread, all that stuff, protein afterwards, and then find balance. Like, obviously, you got to have a cheat day every now and then, but...
What's a cheat day?
Like, biscuits, stuff like that, you know?
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
And
I try to eat pretty healthy as much as I can, but whenever there is some unhealthy food, I do manage to cheat, so.
Because it's that temptation,
Yeah.
isn't it? So that's what I was like, you know, I mean, it was weekend, Sunday, I ended up having like spring rolls and samosa, and I'm looking at you guys and thinking, are you guys ever tempted with like this sort of food on the table, or are you like, no, my soccer comes first? Okay, and obviously you're very busy because you're studying, you're professional soccer, football, as we've said. So what about switching off and like relaxing, or how do you manage that?
It's important to have balance. You can't just go, you'll burn out. You have to have break, watch TV, all that stuff. You got to have rest days.
Okay, and that's just like you switching off. What about like for like mentally? Because you know, it must be like a whirlpool. Your head just must be buzzing all the time. Do you do any sort of like meditation, or?
I find music helps with that. Yeah.
Okay.
So before a game and stuff, mentally to get prepared, I listen to music and stuff. Yeah.
Wow.
Helps a lot.
Okay, and
I like visualizing like what the game's going to be like, and you know, making everything perfect, and listening to music. That usually helps me calm down or get mentally prepared for a game.
okay. And do you guys actually warm up? Because we've talked about diet. I mean, is there anything you could show our audience? Any sort of like warm-up tips or anything, like if any youngsters were watching us?
This one's a nice quad stretch, going like this. So you want to do that on both sides for about 30 seconds each.
Okay.
But before a game, you don't want to do too many static stretches. You want to be more movement stuff, so like stuff like opening up the gates opens up your hips really well, and kicks for your hamstrings. But since we're in like a small area here, I can't show you everything obviously, but lots of jogging, running, stuff like that.
Okay, so as you know, we've been speaking to Armaan and Akash from the Vancouver Islands. I've just got a question I like to ask them, because predominantly if you look around sports, we don't really encourage Punjabi or Asian females. So I'm just going to ask the lads if they've come across any Asian females that are actually in sports, or if they know of any in England, especially internationally, as well as in Canada, Vancouver itself. So we'll ask them.
So in Canada, there's lots of females that are playing sports. Not always football, but there's lots of options, so they're always getting involved. Yeah, it's good to see.
And what sort of sports have you seen these females?
Basketball, volleyball, tennis, football too. Lots in football.
And have you actually had any communication with these counterparts in sports? Have you actually spoken to them, or?
Yeah, I've spoken to them a little bit, yeah. Not a ton though, because they're usually on different days than ours, so then, yeah.
From speaking to them, do you sort of like feel they're getting support from their parents, just like you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Especially, yeah, in Victoria, there's lots of support for both male and female sports for youth kids. Yeah, so it's good.
That's good. And yourself, have you come across any?
Yeah, there's lots in the club I play for. You know, it's a great community, especially with Punjabi people. You know, everyone knows each other, and every parent, you know, they all support their kids no matter what they do, which is nice to hear.
That is, especially females, because I mean, historically, I don't know what your views are. You guys are obviously in sports, you know, being international as well. Have you come across that, as in where you do find sometimes that the parents are actually not allowing the female to pursue a career in sports?
In Canada, not really at all, no. It's pretty equal between male and females in sport. So yeah, it's good to see.
That's really good.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. You know, everything's even, fair, which is nice to hear.
That is good. And do you keep up with a lot of like sports celebrities or personalities like from Punjab or any other? Is there anybody you particularly follow?
Not really, no.
No?
No.
Yeah, there's no one specific that I follow, but everyone's, you know, iconic in their own way, I guess.
Okay. And have you got any favourite football player from England?
From England, Harry Kane, he's good. Yeah. Sterling, like him. Yeah.
Okay.
My favorite is David Beckham. He doesn't play anymore, but
Yeah. And have you got a team that you actually support
Chelsea.
here? Oh, I see. I was going to say, you guys are footballers.
Yeah.
You're going to follow a team. And yourself?
I support Manchester United.
Manchester United. I'm
Yeah.
surprised you didn't say Liverpool.
Oh,
Nah.
That's a team that most...
Yeah, most of my
generally-
family likes Liverpool, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
the odd one out, yeah.
Okay, so that's football. If there was anything you would want to do differently, is there anything you'd want to be doing differently, or you just feel this is it and this is your...
this is it. Like, I love doing this.
Yeah.
obviously there's mistakes made along the way, but I wouldn't change anything because at the end of the day there is success, which is nice.
That is good. And how many tournaments have you guys actually won, like throughout the 11 years of work?
Quite a few.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to, I don't know the exact number. Been to a lot of finals. I think I've won more than I've lost, which is good. Yeah, though, it's nice.
Yeah, mine's about 50-50, so.
So when you win the tournaments, do you like celebrate? How do you guys celebrate the victory of winning?
Well, just hang out with the team, yeah, party a little with them. Yeah, just have fun. It's a good feeling. Yeah.
Okay.
It's important to celebrate, you know, when you win because that's the moment that you always are going to remember.
Yeah.
So.
And how many people are actually in your team?
This team that we took to England with us, 18 people with us, yeah.
Okay, and how many Punjabi?
Just us two.
Wow!
Just on our this team, yeah. There's more back in Victoria.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. And with the teams back in Victoria, do they actually play international as well, or is it just you two?
There's some that do. There's different age groups, obviously, but for our age group, for Punjabi kids, basically just us two, yeah.
Okay. And once again, because it's not really something you see, I mean, we are seeing it quite a lot now, but do you come across any like challenges with the team, or are you like a proper team, good, strong, there's
Yeah.
no challenges?
Not really any challenges, no.
Okay, okay. And that's really good. That is really
Yeah.
good because, as you said, it's about that equality, isn't it?
Yes.
Where, you know, it doesn't matter colour, creed, gender.
Yeah.
You're all equal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Canada, there's a lot of diversity too around race, gender, all that stuff. So, yeah, it's pretty common.
Yeah. So you've talked about Canada. What about the diversity here, especially because obviously we've got Sikh Channel, which is based in England.
Yeah.
Have you found the diversity is just as good here in England?
Yeah, it's pretty diverse. Haven't had a lot of time to like go around and check it out, but it seems pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah, I think so too. I think, you know, as like we're in a new era, everything's becoming more similar and even across the world. So.
Yeah. And why do you think that's really important, especially when it comes obviously into sports? Why is that really important, the diversity?
Well, I think, you know, everyone deserves a shot at what their dreams are. And, you know, everyone deserves a chance to work hard and achieve those goals. So, you know, whether it's your skin color or your gender, it shouldn't matter. You should all have the same opportunity to do what you love.
That's really important, isn't it? And that's key, guys, because when you talk about anything in life, as the lads from a very young age are saying, it doesn't, no discrimination, whether it's sports, it doesn't matter what we're doing, as long as you're doing something good, especially raising the awareness of Sikhism and the principles of Sikhism, which these guys are doing. They're doing a phenomenal job at the age of 16. You know, they've come all the way from the Vancouver Islands, Victoria itself, here on tournaments. They've gone to, did you say?
Cardiff, Manchester, yeah.
Cardiff and Manchester, and they've won the Welsh soccer tournament. So, you know, it's really inspiring to see these guys, because it's about your children and how you're going to build up and develop those children for later on. And diversity is key. As we know, we're in England, and it's about keeping your culture together. So, you know, Parminder Soraya is Armaan's grandmother, who also is a presenter on Sikh channel, as we pointed out earlier on. So it's about connecting with your roots, whether that's through sports, whether that's through watching Sikh channel, and having phenomenal role models just like these two young fine men, Armaan and Akash. It's just amazing that, you know, we're giving them the platform and the opportunity that they deserve, especially when it comes to sports. So when it comes to sports, if there was any sort of like key messages that you'd want to give the audience that are watching us today, what sort of, especially, it's not just about the younger generation, because I know you said your parents have supported you both.
Yeah.
So what key message would you give to like the younger generation, and also the parents that are watching today? What message is it that you guys would want to give?
Well, for the parents, I'd say allow your kids to do what they love, because it does mean a lot having their support. It makes it easier to go out, train every day, and fight to be better every day in the sport. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, you know, support goes a long way. It allows your children to work hard, and, you know, at the end of the day, all that really matters is that you're like trying to achieve your goal and trying to work hard to do what you love. So, so I think it's important.
Okay. Now, I'd just like to ask a personal question. You don't really have to answer this. If your parents weren't so supportive, how would you have managed? Probably a hard question. You don't have to answer it, because I know it's quite intimate and personal, but how would you have overcome that? Because I know you talked about your granddad, your baba was in sports.
Yes.
So that was pretty good. And you've mentioned your mamaji, and also your dad also plays football. So say, if for argument's sake, how would that be managed without any conflict?
So obviously, for me personally, it hasn't been difficult in that situation. But if I was in that situation, I feel like I'd have to try and keep going. I couldn't stop doing what I love. It's just not really an option. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't even imagine what it would be like, because like the amount of support I've got is, I can't even ask, like, I can't even say thank you, because it's so much. I can't answer that question, because it's just so much support I've got throughout the years.
And if your parents, because obviously your parents are going to be watching this, Sikh channel is worldwide, as we know, what message would you want to give to your parents? Because obviously you're international, you're here in Birmingham, the centre of Birmingham here on Sikh channel. You know, you've played international soccer, you've won. So if there was a message you want to give your parents here today, what is that message?
Just thank you for letting us come here and supporting us all the time, and yeah, allowing us to do what we love.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you for, you know, making all this possible and sending us here, and, you know, never doubting us throughout the way.
Okay. So that was the message for the parents. Now, once again, Parminder Soraya, who is your Nindi, what message would you like to give Parminder, your Nindi, who's a presenter on Sikh channel?
Thanks for giving me the opportunity to come here, obviously, and share my message. Yeah, so it means a lot that she could do that for us.
Okay, and...
Yeah, I would like to thank her too. I know it's a nice opportunity to come speak here today.
Okay. So guys, we've had some international guests and it's been really, it's been overwhelming for myself to have interviewed these two fine young men, and we hope to see them in the future. So I just gonna obviously just like to thank you all for watching, and we'll just hand over to the lads and see if they've got any message, and when they return back into the UK, and hopefully I'll ask them if they'll be back on Seek Channel. I'm hoping they will. So.
Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully we can come back. I try and come back to the UK as often as I can. I got lots of family here, obviously. Yeah, so hopefully we'll be back soon.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to try to get another visit in. You know, I really like it here, and hopefully I can be back on the Seek Channel.
Okay. So guys, today's show, it was obviously about two young fine gentlemen who have obviously achieved their goals with obviously support from their parents. So once again, for parents that are watching, they're not doing anything bad. As you can see, it's football, it's a hobby, and with that hobby, they're actually going to build their careers into hopefully physiotherapists in the future, which not only will aid them, but it will aid those people that are obviously with sports injuries, those people that are suffering, but also it's part of the healthcare profession. And physiotherapist itself is an amazing and phenomenal job. I work alongside a lot of physiotherapists as well, and it's about that rehabilitation. So मैं पंजाबी च थोड़ा जिहा तुहानूं दस दिंदी आ। ਸਾਡੇ ਦੋ ਮਹਿਮਾਨ ਆਏ ਸੀ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਤੋਂ, ਤੇ ਇਹ ਫੁੱਟਬਾਲ ਖੇਡਦੇ ਸੀ, ਤੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਮਾਪੇ ਨੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਾਫੀ ਸਪੋਰਟ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਤੋਂ, ਤੇ ਇਹ ਸਾਡੇ ਅੱਜ ਗੈਸਟ ਸੀ, ਤੇ ਇਹ ਇੰਟਰਨੈਸ਼ਨਲ ਫੁੱਟਬਾਲ ਖੇਡਦੇ ਆ, ਤੇ ਇਹ ਆਪਣਾ ਮਾਪੇ ਦਾ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ, ਤੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਆ ਉਹ ਸੁਨੇਹਾ ਇਹ ਦੇਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਜੋ ਵੀ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਧੀ ਪੁੱਤ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ ਆ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਸਪੋਰਟਸ 'ਚ, ਖਾਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਸਾਡੀਆਂ ਬੀਬੀਆਂ ਭੈਣਾਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਸਾਡੀਆਂ ਧੀਆਂ ਆ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਪੋਰਟਸ 'ਚ ਅਸੀਂ ਅੱਗੇ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਈਏ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖੋ ਪਿਛਲੇ ਸਾਲ ਵੀ 골ਡ ਮੈਡਲਿਸਟ ਇੱਕ ਸਾਡੀ ਭੈਣ ਜਿੱਤੀ ਸੀ। ਇਹ ਸਾਡੇ ਪੰਜਾਬੀਆਂ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਇੱਕ ਮਾਣ ਵਾਲੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੋਣੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਆ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਇਹ ਆਪ ਇਹ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਇਕੁਐਲਿਟੀ, ਕਿ ਇਹ ਦੋਨਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਆਪ ਕਿਹਾ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਇਕੁਐਲਿਟੀ, ਕਿ ਜਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਮੁੰਡੇ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ, ਕੁੜੀਆਂ ਵੀ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੀਆਂ ਆ, ਤੇ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ 'ਚ ਮਾਹੌਲ ਇਹ ਬਣਿਆ ਆ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਸਪੋਰਟਸ ਕਰਦੀਆਂ ਆ ਬੱਚੀਆਂ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਮਾਪੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਕਾਫੀ ਸਾਥ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਆ, ਤੇ ਉਹ ਇਸ ਕਾਬਲ ਬਣੇ ਆ। So thank you so much for watching the Seek channel, and we'll be bringing you some more guests soon. ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।